Right, so Suella Braverman and Robert Jenrick, they've been having a bit of a mare of a week over immigration, and they deserve every bit of the fallout from it, frankly, with both their incompetence and the racist remarks both have been making. Suella Braverman has implied this week that people crossing in small boats are doing so in a way that is at odds with the values of this country. What are they doing? Coming backwards with their bums out? Are they mooning us on the way? I'd argue leaving them to drown in the channel does that. That's at odds with our values, I would suggest. I'd argue that forcing them to make that crossing in small boats does that. Not the very act of just coming here. And even as war breaks out in Sudan, the country turning into a war zone and people fleeing for their lives, looking to seek asylum elsewhere, including here, amongst other places, she just couldn't give us stuff. I've just done another video on this, by the way. I won't go into the details of what's going on in Sudan too much here. Go and watch that one, but finish this one first, obviously. But Braverman deserves the media fallout from her miserable excuses here, and then some. But also putting the boot into migrants and getting shamed for it is Honest Bob Robert Jenrick, the former housing minister who likes to help billionaire developers out to avoid paying what is their due. Well, he's an immigration minister now, so fancy having to work for Suella Braverman. I don't fancy it too much, but he's clearly taken to it like a duck to water, as he's come out with a racist gem to make Leaky Sue proud, telling us that asylum seekers crossing the channel in small boats cannibalise communities by importing different lifestyles and values. We have, for years, clearly Jenrick's missed this bit, called this multiculturalism. You absolute weapon, Jenrick. It makes for a more dynamic country, for a start, a country that grows culturally more rich, very much against your mentality of small-mindedness, insularity, and flag shagging, frankly. Jenrick thinks they upset regional cohesiveness, appearing to blame the migrants themselves for being attacked in hotels, and they put pressure on public services. Your party has put pressure on public services by underfunding them and undermining them. Right now, there are doctors who work in our NHS in Sudan that you aren't letting back here, as a for instance, because they happen to not be British. As for the migrants in hotels, they'll be the lucky ones not ending up on the prison barges or in the concentration camps passed off as detention centres. And given all of these people that you've slandered come from a whole range of different countries, which ones are you attacking here? Or is it just a blanket case of racism against every other country on the planet from you here, eh? Afghans, for an example, that are supposed to be settled here are having to come via small boat because the legal route you insist exists for them doesn't actually work. And we only meet our resettlement quota, which we promised them, because we house the ones who managed to get here on their own without drowning. Some are from safe countries, they cry, but even they now face deportation to Rwanda now because a massive flaw in the illegal migration bill has just been spotted. The bill requires all illegal migrants, claims are deemed inadmissible upon arriving on our shores from them, and instead they must be removed straight away to a safe third country, for example, Rwanda, without the claim ever being processed here, as is the case. It'd be a breach of the Refugee Convention of 1951 to then try and return them to their safe home country from Rwanda, because if it's not our government processing the claim, they arrived on our shores after all, then they cannot determine in law the safety of returning them to any alleged safe country. Braverman's bill, therefore, fails completely, and it's because of a stupid, lazy assumption she had made that only refugees coming here are from Albania or other EU countries where, oh, we know they're safe. The issue, the mind-numbingly racist elements of social media always cling to, well, is that they're all young men from Albania coming here. That attitude, that thinking has literally driven Braverman's policy-making decisions here. And because the truth is some 82% of refugees are literally coming from everywhere else, and in fact, Albanians have been overtaken as the main migrants coming across in boats by people coming here from India. India is, of course, considered a safe country too, but it's not on a list of safe countries, like all EU countries are. So under this bill, as a for instance, this flaw of Braverman's would see them sent to Africa at public expense, but charged to us, instead of being returned to India, all because they won't be processed until they reach Rwanda or wherever else Braverman plans to send people. The other flaw in this is, again, referring back to those Afghan migrants coming here, allowing us to lazily meet our obligations to house 5,000 of them a year here. Without their claims being processed, they'd be deported straight away to Rwanda too. Have they not already been through enough at the hands of the Taliban that they now face this? Well, hang on a moment. Rwanda have said they don't want any Afghans. So where do they end up going then? Repeatedly, the justification for all of this is to stop what they call the small boats trade, the traffickers cashing in on people coming here by small boat. Open a legal route to claim asylum here then. That puts them out of business overnight. It really does. They would have no customers anymore like that. That Braverman and the Tories won't do that, that instead they double down on racist remarks, which the media consistently give the Tories a free pass on, of course, shows this isn't actually their main priority at all. Instead, their inward-looking, casually racist, tiny-mindedness and cruelty is all that matters to them instead. Let's apply the Corbyn test to this. Would he get away with such actions from our media? No? Then why should anyone else? Especially the likes of Braverman and Jenrick. This is incompetently evil policy, and it really does have to be stopped. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated this video, please do hit like and subscribe, leave a comment and hit the notification bell too so you don't miss the next one. Also look out for me on social media and other interesting stuff by clicking on the Linktree link in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Cheers, folks.